Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wildcat Gym. You're listening and watching the Lovington Wildcats on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle as a battle of the cats here this afternoon as the Clovis Wildcats in town to take on our Lovington Wildcats. Clovis comes in under head coach Jaden Isler, and they are 5-2 on the year. They're 1-1 in district, but we're not in the same district, so we're not so worried about that. For your Lovington Wildcats, 1-4 on the season and 0-2 in district, but of course not a district game, but should be a good matchup here, Dawn Morgan.
Yes, definitely. Coming off of a big game last night and an almost win for Lovington, and what a heartbreaker to lose. I know these guys, they want some redemption, right? Lovington wants to prove, you know what, we should have won that game last night. We're going to beat this team, and nothing, would make them feel better to feel and get a little bit of that back from last night than to beat a team that's above them, in classification, stacking up against yet another 5A team.
Well, absolutely right, and of course, talking about, that big game last night, the Cats losing 74-71 in overtime to that one. A lot of bright spots in that game. 18 points for Kobe Sandoval and 24 points for Tayton Hilliard. He led the way. 18 for Kobe, 12 for Jared Jeffrey, 10 for Isaac Henson. So 4 players in double digits last night. Leading rebounder was Jared Jeffrey, but as a team, they only had 23 rebounds as a team, and for the second game in a row, Dawn, they have just not been getting anything on the glass.
Yeah, they've really got to work on that. That can make the difference at the end of the game. When you're talking through the game and we're keeping stats and we're talking about, we're getting out rebounded 10-5, on offensively or defensively. It doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But then when it comes down to a 2 or 3 point game at the end, off of a steal, off of a rebound, that's when those are crucial. And that's why, as a team, you have to work on your turnovers. If you're turning it over too much, because a turnover can lead to a basket that beats you, in the end. So that's why turnovers, cleaning off the glass offensively and defensively, and everybody thinks about defensive rebounding, but offensive rebounding is really what you've got to work on, because that's where you give yourself a second and third look at the basket, a second and third chance if your shooting is a little bit cold.
Well, you're absolutely right. You've got to give yourself as many opportunities as you can, or it's just not going to work. Another thing for the Wildcats, they had opportunities last night, and they had opportunities against Artesia on Tuesday, too, to just absolutely run away and hide, to get up and just keep up. But for some reason, they get up by, a possession or two, 4 or 5 points, and the last couple games, they've backed off. They've started running clock. They've started just moving the ball around, gotten a little bit sloppy. And so instead of just keeping the hammer down, keeping the intensity, instead of playing like you're 5 points down, they were playing like they were 15 points up. And I think it really cost them, because the intensity level went down, and then all of a sudden, the other team goes on a 7-10 point run, and it's like, now we're down by 5, and we got to try and dial it back in. Just keep it until you get up by 15, 20, exactly. Then you can maybe dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right in terms of that. You've got to keep the energy level up, the intensity level up, and again, you don't think you've got a cushion. You never think you've got enough cushion unless you're, 15, 20 points up, and I've seen plenty of teams blow that kind of a lead too, or another team decide, we're not going to just accept that this team thinks they have us beaten, and we're going to come back. So even that is not a done deal. So you've got to really continue, as you said, keep the pressure on and play the game that stay in command, and don't slow down and give the other team a chance to come start forcing turnovers and making baskets off of those.
And you mentioned turnovers. 22 turnovers last night. Not a tremendous number, but a lot of those turned into points. Especially in that third and fourth quarter, when last night Goddard, got back into it, tied it up, of course, eventually sending it into overtime. So you can't, you got to hold on to the ball. Some of those turnovers just turned into slop ball on both sides, where they would trade turnovers. But there was probably 15 points off of turnovers last night, and that makes a big difference in the game.
Yeah, it absolutely it does. So Lovington, if they might have had just a quick run through this morning, a little workout or something. But at the very, at the very least, they've got last night's experience fresh on their minds, and they're coming in hopefully with refreshed legs. But not a lot of time to work out the lessons that they learned from last night. But probably if they could just take one or two takeaways from last night's game and apply it this afternoon, they're going to be in good stead against Clovis. Clovis always tough. A Clovis team, especially under the coach Isler, they're going to play a game mostly like a Hobbs team that's really pressing.
They're going to press.
Really
they're going to
pressing,
be physical.
Very physical always. They're almost to the point of being kind of rough sometimes. So a physical, aggressive, rough game. That's what you expect when you come against Clovis. But Clovis is very capable of dropping back into a zone and slowing things down against you if they think that that's going to be more effective against you. But they are a team that does like to run and gun. So they're going to have legs for days when they come in. And so Lovington's going to have to use all their tricks and really going to have to keep the pace up, just like if they were playing a Hobbs team, which they did earlier this season, early on. And they did a great job of staying up with them in that first half, particularly before they faded a little bit. I think that they're a better team now, than they were 10 days ago. You're just all of the sports are in these compressed seasons. They're having to really turn and burn and be on a really fast learning curve. And Lovington has done that. This team, you look at their record right now. This team is more like this should be flipped. This team, instead of coming in 1-4, they should be 4-1. This team, instead of 0-2 in district, very capable. They should be at least 1-1 and maybe 2-0. So it's a little misleading to look at their season record and their district record and judge them as a team by what the finals on the scoreboard were at the end of those games. But then again, you have to do that.
You have to.
You have to go by the records. But this team is a much better team than you would think by looking at their records.
Well, they certainly are. And on the flip side, they're looking to knock off a Clovis team that's going to come in looking to chomp a little Lee County fanny today. Of course, the Hobbs Eagles going up to the Rock last night and beating this Clovis team. So they're probably not real happy with Lee County right now,
yeah.
And they're going to want to take out their frustrations on our Wildcats, of course, as you mentioned, up to our Cats to make sure that they don't. And Lovington, when they're on, can run with anybody. A little bit inconsistent in the shooting, but again, that's where the rebounds come in when you're not, being real consistent with your shots. Give yourself extra chance. I don't know how many times on Tuesday night or last night against Artesia and Goddard, respectively, they would take a shot and they wouldn't have anybody within 15 feet of the basket. So no chance to get a rebound there
and get a second or third look at the basket.
So they've got to just work on those things as they get ready. For Clovis, they'll be wearing the road purples with the white letters and numbers and Clovis in block letters on the front. For the Cats, they'll be in the home whites, of course, with the Wildcat blue letters and numbers. So as they head back to the locker room to get some final instruction from Coach Casey Pack. It was senior afternoon here earlier as the Lovington seniors, the 6 on the team, were recognized before the game, between the JV game and this varsity contest. And
then the senior cheer squad also were recognized. The seniors on this team are Kobe Sandoval, Jared Jeffrey, Javier Contreras, Michael Cadillo, Damian Ortiz, and Matthew Olivas. So we certainly say congratulations to those team members. That's really we're losing a lot of experience and heart, from this team when these guys graduate. So it is going to be important to season some of those younger players and get some experience, on the court, and look ahead at the next season. Of course, you got to play right now. This game is in front of them. This season is the one that's important. But when you are losing seniors and especially several starters like that, then you look ahead and you've got a younger team coming up, and that's certainly got to be on Coach Casey Pack's mind too.
Well, it certainly does. The starters, when we get ready to go to this one here in just a few minutes for the visiting Clovis Wildcats, it'll be number 3, Darius Lewis, number 10, Elijah Garcia, number 11, Bryson Goldsmith, number 14, CJ Gutierrez, and number 20, Juan Hernandez. Starting 5 for your Lovington Wildcats, it'll be what we're used to seeing. Number 3, Kobe Sandoval. Number 4, Jared Jeffrey. Number 5, Isaac Henson. Number 10, Adam Aguilera. And number 11, Tayton Hilliard. So that'll be the starting 5 on the floor as we get to this one coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So the pregame clock is winding down, so we will take a timeout for the national anthem and for the introduction of the teams. This is Lovington Wildcat Basketball on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Back here at Wildcat Gym, getting ready for the start of this matchup between the Lovington Wildcats and the Clovis Wildcats. A battle of the cats here today from Lovington, New Mexico. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing as the teams prepare for the throw-in. Of course, no jump balls in COVID world. What's got any final thoughts before we get this one going, Dawn?
I just think Lovington, they're a talented team for shooting outside. I think they get their outside game going so that they can pull up and not have to battle on the inside. And I just think that they need to attack that. Yeah, they definitely need to get, their low post going, but they need to go ahead and free up and try to get, because Clovis is going to be, on our three-point shooters like Kobe Sandoval and Henson and Jeffrey. They're capable of doing that. But I just want to see Lovington not back off tonight. I want to see them just go, be aggressive, and do what they have to do, and just keep attacking and keep working it inside and outside today, and just keep playing as hard as they can.
It'll be Clovis basketball, of course, as the visiting team to start. So you got Lewis, Garcia, Goldsmith, Gutierrez, and Hernandez on the floor for Clovis. Sandoval, Jeffrey, Henson, Aguilera, and Hilliard for the Cats. As the inbound will come to Darrell Lewis, and he brings it into the front court. Bounces it to the free throw line with Garcia, who hands it out to Goldsmith. Goldsmith will just work it around, and they'll reset the offense with Lewis. Out on him is Aguilera, steals the ball away and into the hand of Hilliard. Hilliard almost loses the ball right back to him, works through traffic, and finally gonna back off and have a chance to get it over to Aguilera. Into the front court come the Lovington version of the Wildcats. Sandoval takes it to the right base and will just be forced to move it around. They'll go into the left corner. Aguilera a little head fake as they move it back around to the right side. Sandoval with the look at three from NBA range, no good, and the ball will go out of bounds. Nope, it'll be saved, but saved to Clovis, and the rebound going to be credited to Gutierrez. But an immediate steal and back the other way to Aguilera. 3 on the way, off the mark. Sandoval with the rebound. His putback won't fall, and it'll be Brown coming down with it. Or excuse me, that's Gutierrez coming down with it for his second rebound. Clovis basketball a minute in, still no score. As the Purple Cats will reset up with Hernandez. Work it around to Garcia. And then to Lewis. Move it inside. Hippity hop and Gutierrez, and he travels. So Clovis uncharacteristically has turned the ball over three times here in just a little over a minute.
But Lovington has not been able to put any points on the board despite those 3 turnovers to them.
No, they have not. As Hilliard Aguilera, a little press on from Clovis back to Tayton. He'll take it across the timeline. Tosses it to Jeffrey, top of the arc. Into the right corner. 3 on the way from Sandoval, and that one is going to be short. And the rebound going to be brought down by Goldsmith. Goldsmith will keep it himself and start it back the other way for the Purple Cats. And tries a bad bounce pass, and it'll go out of the reach of Gutierrez, or excuse me, that was Garcia. And Clovis turns it over for a 4th time. Lovington has got to capitalize.
Amazing that Clovis has turned it over so many times.
They have left the Lovington 3-point shooters alone, but Lovington is yet to make them pay. To Sandoval in the front court. He takes it in front of the Clovis bench on the far side. He's going to get tripped up. They're going to whistle that one on Elijah Garcia, his first personal, and it'll be the first team foul on Clovis. It should be Lovington ball over in front of the Clovis bench, I would think. 6:15 remaining in the first. No score from here at Wildcat Gym in Lovington. They're going to say it goes to the baseline, and it'll be Aguilera to inbound from right of the bucket. He'll toss it in, gets it into Hilliard, out between the big cat and the top of the arc. He'll take it to the left elbow, then toss it out, work it around to Henson. 3 on the way from the left wing, no good, and the rebound made by Goldsmith, his second. He'll start it back the other way, bounce pass underneath to Lewis, who will kick it out. Goes to Garcia, and they'll just work it back around. Now to Hernandez, takes it to the free throw line, then back up to the top of the arc. Starting the drive in will be Garcia. He'll put up a little one-handed floater, and he gets the roll. And Clovis draws first blood, 2-0. 5:47 to go here in the first. As they'll drop back in defense, Aguilera will bring it into the front court again. Lovington has had open looks at the 3, but have yet to convert, and they trail 2-0. Sandoval to the right base, uses up the dribble, has to toss it back out. Hilliard to the free throw line, will pull up from there, and it is home. It rattles home. And so Tayton Hilliard will get the Wildcats on the board. We are tied at 2. 5:22 remaining in the first. Into the front court, Lewis uses up the dribble and will toss it left side to Goldsmith in front of the Lovington bench. Gives it back to Lewis, who goes in against Aguilera. A little turnaround jumper as he goes in and out, and the rebound brought down by Hilliard. That'll be his first. Hilliard to Aguilera to Henson. He'll drive it in on the left lane. Puts up a shot. Can't get it to fall. On the rebound by Garcia. The Clovis Cats are back the other way into the right wing with Goldsmith. He'll bring it over to the right block. He'll put up a shot. Won't fall, and the rebound going to be controlled there by Goldsmith again. To Garcia in the deep left corner. Tosses it back out to Lewis, and Clovis will reset with 4:40 to go. To Hernandez, who feeds it inside, and they try and get it to a backdoor cutting Gutierrez, but knocked away by Jeffrey. Heads up play for the Lovington Cats. It'll stay Clovis basketball. They were trying to get a man backdoor, Dawn.
They were, and that was a good heads up play. Jeffrey was where he needed to be to knock that ball away.
As the inbound will come in to Hernandez, 4:36 remaining here in the first. Wide open look at 3 from the left side for Garcia. No good, but the rebound into the hands of Hernandez. He'll put back up, no good, and the rebound by Hilliard, his second. Here you'll toss it far side, and it'll be Aguilera to Henson. Takes it in on the right base and can't buy a bucket right now. Puts up a shot, no good, and off of the tip around, it'll be Goldsmith and his 4th rebound. Takes it coast to coast, gives it underneath, and he's going to be blocked. Lewis to it, but it is saved into the hands of Gutierrez.
Nice block without foul.
As they'll work it back around to Hernandez, to Lewis. 3 from the left wing. That one is going to be short, but he gets his own rebound. Throws it into the right corner, and a 3-ball on the way from Garcia, and he's got the tray ball. And that'll be 5-2 again. Nobody rebounding for Lovington. Got to do a better job on the glass. 5-2 the score. To Sandoval in the deep right corner. Jeffrey comes over. Kobe will keep it himself. Tosses over to Aguilar a little bit hard. Adam handles it. Gets it, and now it'll be Hilliard between the rings. He'll work against Hernandez. In front of the Clovis bench, go to Sandoval. On him close is Lewis. Kobe just keeps dribbling, gets a little screen from Jeffrey, and he'll take it right to the baseline. Going to be partially blocked and into the hands of Goldsmith, who will trigger it back the other way as he hands it off to Lewis. 5-2, Clovis in the lead. 3 ball on the way from Garcia, right wing, and he'll rattle that one home. Garcia with 2 trays in the ball game has made it 8-2 in favor of Clovis. 3 minutes remaining in the first. Their shooting heating up. Ours still stone cold. Back down come the Wildcats. It'll be Henson near side as he works against Goldsmith, and Goldsmith going to get called for the block. Actually a push. So that'll be his first personal, second team foul on Clovis. Subs coming in for Clovis as Gutierrez and Goldsmith will check out. Jeffrey will check out. Going in his place is Damian Ortiz, who is wearing 33 today. Henson will check out as well, and Villalobos will check in. Some days for Ortiz, he's 32. Some days he's 33. Yeah. We're never quite sure till we get to the gym.
Lovington's got to start chipping away and dig themselves out of this hole.
Villalobos gets it in, and it'll be Hilliard to control. He'll take it to the left wing, uses up the dribble to Adam Aguilera. Aguilera cycles it from the left to the right, now in front of the Clovis bench, where he hands it off to Villalobos. Joey pops the shot from the right corner for 3. That one is too hard off the iron, and the rebound by Hernandez, his second. Nobody again for the Lovington Cats in the neighborhood to rebound. Back down will be Brown as he checks into the ball game. Bounce pass into the deep left corner. 3 ball on the way for Clovis again. That one won't fall. But the rebound off of a tip to the hands of Hernandez. They continue to work it around. It'll be Garcia. Puts up a little push from about 5 on the right baseline. And he's got all 10 of the points in the books for Clovis. It's 10-2 in favor of the Purple Cats. Full court pressure is on as they try and trap up Aguilera. He gets it to Hilliard. Tatum will bring it into the front court where they try and trap him up. He'll just toss it back to the timeline for Aguilera to Sandoval as Kobe gets a screen from Ortiz. Now back to Hilliard. Tatum will take it in from the floater. No good. Rebound going to be made by Ortiz. His putback won't fall. Gets another rebound, and he is going to get fouled.
Well, they're going to say jump ball, tie ball.
Wow, jump ball, and so it'll stay Lovington basketball.
I think he got fouled before Clovis decided to tie him up, but and some of the Lovington faithful agree with me on that one.
So the stripes seem different, though, than the fans and the announcers.
Yes.
As some subs checking back in for the Cats as Jeffrey and Henson back into the ball game. It'll be Sandoval to pull the trigger on the inbound from the offensive zone on the baseline. He'll toss it in, get it in to Isaac. Henson near side, tosses it to Villalobos, over to Sandoval in front of the Clovis bench in the right corner, and a foul going to be called away from the basketball. It'll be on the floor. It will be on Clovis. Let's see who they're going to call it on. And they're going to call it on Dominic Brown. That'll be his first personal, third team foul on Clovis. Still on the floor.
Pretty fast-moving first quarter. 1:41 left in it.
10-2 is the score. Checking in for Clovis will be J.R. Nora as he'll come in for Juan Hernandez.
There's been an awful lot of shooting and attempts by both teams for the score to be this low.
Yes, there has been. Sandoval looks to inbound. Everybody being pressured. Jeffrey will cycle over and get it. Jeffrey to the free throw line now is going to be pushed out by Clovis. Hand it off to Sandoval near midcourt. Now over to Villalobos. He'll take it between the rings. Low pass. Jeffrey was thinking about the quick 3 ball as he works against Hyman. He'll take it and now toss it. Villalobos controls in the corner. Near side. Coming over to Sandoval. Kobe is going to get an offensive foul. He's got a propensity to kind of throw that elbow a little bit. It'll be the first turnover for Lovington. First personal on Kobe and the first team foul on the Cats.
And, of course, Kobe, anytime he's got the ball, yes, Clovis is keying in on him and getting 2 men on him as quick as they can.
Jalen Hyman into the front court will toss it near side to Nora. Nora back to Hyman, top of the arc. Tosses it over into the right corner. Garcia thinks about the 3, little head fake, then he'll drive it on the right base, puts up a right-hand layup, no good, but he's fouled. He'll head to the line for 2. See, the call is going to be on. They are going to call the block foul. And they're going to whistle that one on Ortiz. So that'll be his second personal, second team foul on Lovington. And at the line will be Garcia for 2. He's got all 10 in the books for Clovis here in the first. Puts up the first, and it's good. He's got all 11 in the books now for Clovis. As Ortiz will check out, and Olivas will check in for the Wildcats, the Lovington version of the Wildcats. It's a great thing when Clovis and Lovington play. I can just say Wildcats, and I'm always right.
You're always right.
Second shot on the way for Garcia, and that one is good. He's got all 12 in the books for Clovis. Full court press is on. They try and trap up Sandoval, he'll get it out in a bad pass. Going to be the second turnover for the Wildcats. Controlling that one will be Nora. Nora hands it off to Garcia in front of the Lovington bench, and then they'll give it to Hyman. Hyman to Garcia, thinks about the NBA three. Kobe gets out there on quickly, and he thinks better of it. Into the deep left corner, and a whistle sounds, and we're going to have an offensive foul called on Clovis. Or did he just step? He stepped on the sideline, so it'll be a fifth turnover for the Clovis version of the Wildcats. 40 seconds remaining here in the first, 12-2 in favor of Clovis. Much better game if Lovington's shooting is not ice cold. Into the front court with Villalobos. Spins, goes into the lane, and he is going to get hammered as he drives in from the right block, and he'll head to the line for two. Smartly just pushed the ball as he was getting fouled, and they're going to whistle that one on Nora, his first personal, fourth team foul on the Wildcats, and Villalobos heads to the line with a chance to break a 10-0 run for Clovis. Villalobos will bend the knees, put up the first, and Joey will rattle it home. So breaks about a 6-minute scoring drought and a 10-0 run by Clovis.
Yeah.
Sandoval checks out, Aguilera back in. Villalobos, Olivas, Jeffrey, Aguilera, and Henson on the floor for the Wildcats. Villalobos' second is up and nothing but the bottom of the net. So it is 12-4, 28 seconds to go. Clovis basketball. And they are in the lead as into the front court comes Hyman. He'll work it over to Nora in front of the Lovington bench. Top of the arc back to Hyman. Now to Brown in the right wing. He'll work it outside. Nora spins through the paint, loses his footing, and he'll get it to Hyman. A little push shot put up. Not going to fall, and the rebound made by Henson, his first. They try and pressure it in a bad pass by Henson, and it'll go out of bounds, and that'll be the third turnover for Lovington. Having a little trouble with the Clovis pressure here late in the first. Just under 4 seconds remaining in a fast-moving first quarter as Brown will put it into the backcourt with Garcia, and he finds a little space, puts up a three ball at the buzzer, no good, and we head to the second. It's Clovis 12, Lovington 4. We're back in 60 seconds. More Wildcat basketball on Z94, KZOR, and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Back here at Wildcat Gym in Lovington with Dawn Morgan. I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber engineering and producing. Thanks for tuning in on Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington, the Z94 KZOR app, and watching free of charge, courtesy of your friends here at Walmart Broadcasting, Walmart Digital Solutions on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel and the Lovington tab at HobbsAmerica.com. Clovis basketball as we start this second quarter as the starting five back out on the floor for both squads of Cats as the inbound will come to Lewis, and he'll control. Underway here in the second. Lewis works against Aguilera, inside to Goldsmith. Picks up the dribble in the low post, will toss it out, and a three ball on the way by Hernandez won't fall, and into the hands of Gutierrez, who loses it. Nice job by Lovington to get the ball back, and Aguilera and Henson to Aguilera into the front court. Runs it up and pushes it off the glass. Good. Lovington cuts it in half to a 12-6 lead for Clovis. Into the front court, they'll toss it over into the left baseline and just work it around with Gutierrez. Gutierrez will control, takes it out to the left wing. Little spin move as he works against Hilliard, drives into the left lane and pushes it up and puts it off the glass and in. First player not named Garcia to score. As the ball will go out of bounds, and they're going to say that Aguilera stepped on the line before he bounced it off of Goldsmith, so that'll be the fourth turnover for Lovington. 7:10 remaining in the first half. Clovis basketball into the front court. They bring it with Hernandez. He works against Sandoval. Work it around over to Garcia in the left side. Garcia takes it to the free throw line, and then to Lewis, who drives in the right lane and puts up a shot, and it is good. Darrell Lewis, his first points of the ball game. 16-6, a 10-point lead. Touchdown pass being thrown down to Sandoval as Kobe to the free throw line with Jeffrey, puts up the shot, no good, and the rebound going to be brought down by Garcia, his second, as Garcia will bring it back down into the Purple Cat zone. They'll just work it around now with Goldsmith, who hands it off to Hernandez in front of the Lovington bench, top of the arc with Garcia. Garcia to Hernandez, takes it to the left base, uses up the dribble, bad pass, and picked off by Lovington. Hilliard to bring it back down. He'll go coast to coast, and he is going to be blocked from behind by trailing Goldsmith and out of bounds. It'll stay Lovington basketball on the clean block. Clovis will send in Jaden Phillips now, bringing in a little size underneath to try and combat Lovington going to the inside.
Size and muscle.
Yes, it is. High inbound pass. It'll be corralled by Jeffrey back just this side of the timeline, the offensive side of the timeline for Lovington. Driving in is Aguilera, tries to put up a pass, but it winds up being a shot that'll be a rebound for Hernandez. It went off the rim, so you have to count it as a shot. So Hernandez, little spin move, and we'll toss it over to Gutierrez at the free throw line, and from the left elbow puts it up and in. He's got 4 points. 18-6 now in favor of Clovis. It's not that Lovington hadn't had their chances. They've just been stone cold. To Sandoval, NBA range, 3 ball. No good, and the rebound by Goldsmith, his 6th. Goldsmith will bring it back down for Clovis, bounces it off of his chin, but corrals it and tosses it over near side to Lewis in front of the student section. Lewis, they'll just work it back around as Clovis controls to Hernandez. 5:20 remaining and an 18-6 lead. 3 ball on the way for Clovis, and that one nothing but the bottom of the net by Goldsmith. His first points of the ball game. 21-6. Bad pass off the posterior of Henson. He will corral it though and get it to Jeffrey in the high post, and he'll put up a shot. Won't fall, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Wow, Lovington has had so many shots just barely miss, in and out. And I don't know whether they're just finding it hard to dial in the range, on this end of the court today, or what. They're taking plenty of shots.
Foul going to be called on Jaden Phillips, and so at the line, Jeffrey gets the first. So Jeffrey in the book, first point of the night. Afternoon, I should say, for Jeffrey. Some subs coming in for the Wildcats as Ortiz checks into the ball game. Second shot on the way for Jarrett, and that one won't fall, and the rebound going to be brought down again by Goldsmith. He's got 7. Goldsmith into the right corner, picks up his dribble as he takes it to the right block. Hippity hop through the lane is Hernandez. He'll put one off the glass, wind up with his own rebound, his 5th. Ball loose on the floor on the putback, but saved by Clovis, and a 3 ball put up by Goldsmith. That one won't go, and the rebound by Phillips, his first.
And this is going to be the 4th look at the basket if Clovis takes a shot now.
21-7, Clovis leads. 4.5 to go in the first. Phillips uses up his dribble. He'll toss it out to Hernandez. 3 ball from the left side, and that one's good. Juan Hernandez, his first points of the ball game, 23-7.
24.
24-7, yeah. Again, it's not as if Lovington hadn't had their chances. Jeffrey on the inbound, coast to coast. He'll put up a little floater, no good. Gets his own rebound, and the Cats will reset. Near center court is going to be Hilliard. He'll get a screen. He'll go to the right block, put up a shot from there, and no good. Again, we just cannot buy a bucket. Phillips' second rebound for Clovis. Back down they come as we hit the halfway mark with Lewis. Jump stop by Gutierrez. Now over to Phillips in the left wing. Hands it back to Lewis, top of the arc. A little hesitation move, and he'll just leave it off for a 3 ball for Gutierrez. Not going to fall on that one. Ball loose on the floor, and finally going to be controlled by Hilliard, his 3rd rebound. 3:40 remaining in the first, 24-7. All Clovis so far in this one. To Jeffrey, uses up the dribble, needs some help, gets it from Henson. Henson to Sandoval, right wing for 3, and bang! Finally, it's one to fall. Eventually you keep shooting them, they'll go. 24-10, 3:20 remaining in the first. Clovis basketball up by 14. To Phillips as he'll work against Ortiz. Now over to the near side with Lewis. Lewis to the free throw line, turnaround jumper from there. And that one will go in and out, and Henson with his second rebound of the ball game. Back down come the Cats to Sandoval, NBA 3 right side.
Oh.
Again and bang!
Beautiful.
When you get Kobe warmed up, he can rain them down from everywhere. And Coach Jaden Isler says he wants a timeout. 2:59 remaining in the first half. It's Clovis 24, Lovington 13. Back for more Wildcat basketball in 60 seconds on KZOR. I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing this afternoon.
I'm sure Coach Isler over there are drawing up plans to try to control Kobe Sandoval, because he just buried 2 trays in a row to cut the lead down to just 11 by Clovis.
And actually it was Lovington who took the timeout.
But I'm sure during that timeout,
Isler
was busy, yeah.
I'm sure he was. He generally is. Gutierrez into the front court. So the Purple Cats on the offense now, as it'll be Brown to the right wing as Sandoval tries to trap him up, and he'll knock it away. It'll go right into the hands of Hilliard, who gives it back to Kobe, who drives in, but he's going to be fouled. Whistle that one on Brown, his second personal, 6th team foul. And so it'll put Kobe at the line to shoot 2.
And Lovington has been plagued by cold shooting, even some point-blank shots like that. They just haven't been able to finish. So, you know that they're hurting as much as we are when we watch that, when the shots don't go.
Sandoval's first is up, and it is good. So now 24-14, Lovington, 1 point down by 17. He's chipped it back down to 10.
But, Jeffrey, Henson, and Hilliard, and even Contreras are all capable of popping those threes. So if they go tight on Kobe, Lovington has the ability.
Sandoval's second is up, and it rolls home. 24-15, 2.5 to go here in the first half. To Brown, he'll hand it to Gutierrez. Gutierrez now comes near side to Goldsmith. Then over to Garcia. Back out, and they'll reset with Hyman. Hyman to Brown. Long cross-court pass to Garcia. Lovington gets on him quickly as he'll bounce it underneath to the big boy Phillips. Phillips works in the right base. Lovington tries to trap him up. He'll get it out to Hyman. Drives it into the paint. Wide open look at 3 from the left side. Garcia. That one is going to be off the mark, and Henson with good position on the block out. Feeds it forward to Hilliard, who is going to get tied up, and yep, it'll be a foul, not a tie. Whoop, they changed it to a tie ball, but it'll stay Lovington basketball.
That was good work by Jared Jeffrey on defense back under the basket. He actually I think he was on so tight that forced that would have been a swish had he not sort of tipped that ball out of the hand, I believe.
So inbounding it will be Henson. Or Hilliard gets it to Henson. That's what I'm trying to say. And a tackle by Phillips as Sandoval goes sliding almost back into the Clovis bench. So that'll put Kobe at the line for the 1-and-1. Second personal on Phillips. I bet the kid's a linebacker on the football team. I don't think you're supposed to do that on the basketball court. So Sandoval at the line for the 1-and-1 as Phillips will check out, as Goldsmith will check back in for Clovis. Lovington is in the bonus.
Well, we talked about at the start of the game what a physical game.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is up and good for Sandoval. He's got 9 points, leads the way for Lovington.
What a physical game that Clovis is famous, for playing, and this is through the decades, not just this season.
It's pretty much their MO. Second shot for Sandoval, that one's no good, and the rebound going to be made by Goldsmith, his 8th. He'll trigger the ball back and cross into the offensive zone for Clovis. 1:49 to go. 24-16 is the score. Full court press is on, stolen away by Sandoval, and takes it up and with the left hand up and in. Sandoval now with 11. 24-18. Lovington on the comeback trail. Hyman will control it into the front court for Clovis. Sandoval on him as they trap him up. He uses up his dribble. Bad pass somehow corralled by Hernandez before it goes out. Work it into the corner as Goldsmith works around. Now he'll kick it back out, and the 3 ball on the way. That one going to be too hard, but the rebound by Gutierrez, his 4th. To Hyman, and Clovis will reset up by 6, 24-18. Picks up the dribble and a good hand in there by Henson. 10th turnover. Henson to Hilliard, left side and up and in. Hilliard with 4 points. And we got a ball game, folks, as Lovington on the comeback trail.
They have come alive. They are on fire.
24-20, Lovington trailing. Hyman to the front court for the Purple Cats, and he's going to get fouled. I think they're going to call that on Kobe. Sandoval, let's just double check it. Nope, they're actually going to call that one on Isaac. That'll be Henson's first personal. Just the 3rd team foul on Lovington. They've played very clean. As checking back into the ball game for Clovis will be Lewis. He goes in for Hyman. And coming in for Lovington, Adam Aguilera checks back in for Kobe Sandoval.
That really was a beautiful fast break, give and go. That's the kind of basketball that Lovington is capable of playing, and you just want to see more of it.
Inbound to Lewis as he'll toss it to the free throw line with Brown. Brown takes it into the high post. He'll put up a little push shot, winds up with his own rebound, his 2nd. Over and a little running floater. No good, and the rebound by Garcia. And Garcia going to get tied up, and it'll be Clovis basketball.
That was a nice job by Matthew Olivas coming in there, using his size and his muscle to force his way in and get a hand on the ball.
So Clovis basketball with 37 seconds to go. First half, 24-20 is the score. Not real pretty from either team from an offensive standpoint, but very close and very exciting action. So inbounding, it'll be Garcia. He'll get it to Goldsmith. Bad pass trying to get it back to Garcia, and knocked away by Hilliard as Tatum will keep it himself. 11th turnover for Clovis. 30 seconds to go into the front court. Tatum will bring it for the Lovington Cats to Jeffrey on the near side, where he'll work against Lewis. To Aguilera to Henson. Henson to the free throw line, weaves through traffic, almost loses the basketball, gets it out, top of the arc. Hilliard for 3 and bang!
There's the 3 from Henson. We talked about that.
Hilliard with the 3-pointer. That was number 11. So 24-23, Lovington back to within a point with 3, with 2, with Gutierrez for 3 at the buzzer. No good. And they are going to call a 3-point foul on Olivas. Bad foul by Matthew Olivas at the buzzer. Clovis will go to the line for 3 at halftime. Wow.
You don't see that really often, and Coach Pack is a little beside himself over there.
Well, and I think he's mad more or less at Olivas. Yeah, he's letting Olivas know that it was off the mark. You don't hit him after it flies. You just gave him 3 free shots, and the first one is up by Gutierrez, and he misses it. So the score still 24-23. 2 shots to go, though. Like the aggression for Lovington, but you got to be smart as the second one is up, and Gutierrez will miss the second. So he's missed the first 2, going for number 3, his 3rd time the charm, and yes, it is. He'll rattle that one home. So it is halftime as Clovis leads Lovington 25-23. We're back in 3 minutes for your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How halftime show on Z94, KZOR, and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Welcome to your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How Halftime Show from Lovington Auto Supply, 217 West Avenue D in Lovington. Get the Napa Know-How for your vehicle from the good folks at Lovington Auto Supply, proud supporters of Lovington Wildcat basketball. It's 25-23 Clovis on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. I'm TJ Miracle alongside Dawn Morgan. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing this afternoon. So let's take a look at the numbers in the first half of this one. We will start with the visiting Wildcats from Clovis. Leading the way, Elijah Garcia. He has 12 points in the first half, all coming in the first quarter. 5 for C.J. Gutierrez. And you've got 3 in the books for Juan Hernandez, 3 for Bryson Goldsmith, and 2 for Darrell Lewis. Those are the scores for Clovis. That's their starting 5. And they're the only 5 in the books. 7 rebounds for Bryson Goldsmith. He is the leading rebounder for Clovis. 5 for Juan Hernandez. Collectively as a team, they do have 27 rebounds. They went 3 of 5 in the first half from the free throw line. Turned the ball over 11 times. Get 12 in the first, 13 in the second. That's how they get to their 25 on the board. Turning the page for your Lovington Wildcats. For the Cats, leading scorer right now, Kobe Sandoval with 11 points, all of them coming in the second quarter. Tayton Hilliard with 7 in that first half. Then you got 2 in the books for Adam Aguilera, 2 for Joey Villalobos, and a point for Jared Jeffrey. Leading rebounder right now, Henson and Hilliard with 3 apiece, but Lovington only 10 rebounds in that first half. They go 6 of 8 from the free throw line, and they only turn the ball over 4 times in the first half. Only 4 points in the first quarter, get 19 in the second. So that's how we get to 25-23 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard, Dawn.
You know, it's interesting. Lovington's scoring is much more balanced than Clovis. If Lovington looks at the stats, the 2 guys they have to worry about scoring on them are Garcia and Gutierrez. Control those guys, you control the scoring. The 2 guys who are doing the rebounding for Clovis, Goldsmith and Hernandez. You try to beat them, underneath the basket or match them up, better on the posting situation, and then you're grabbing more rebounds, right? So it's a really simple thing to look at the stats and see. I mean, yes, Kobe is our leading scorer, and yes, Clovis is doing their best to contain him, and Lovington is doing their best to break him free. They're working the ball. They started in that second quarter working the ball around a little faster to try to keep Clovis so that they can break that ball over to Kobe at times when he is in the clear, and that way he can take shots without being so double teamed so much of the time. So both teams are making the adjustments against each other, but I'd like Lovington to take a look at that and look at containing those 2 guys and work on grabbing more rebounds away from Goldsmith and Hernandez, doing what they can to make those adjustments at half. If they did that, even just taking a couple, 3 more shots away, making those shots, even taking 3 or 4 or 5 more rebounds away and trying to capitalize on that can turn the tide in a game, especially one that's just a 2-point game at halftime right now.
Well, it certainly is, and this is becoming kind of the thing with Lovington this season. Every season, we see teams that have certain traits and things that just seem to be recurring themes within the team, and at least for the last 3 games, the recurring theme with this Lovington team has been force turnovers, don't turn the ball over,
right,
but don't get rebounds.
Yes, exactly. And what they're doing is they're not turning the ball over much, but they're not capitalizing on those turnovers that they're either forcing against Clovis or that Clovis is making. Clovis has made some unforced, errors and turned the ball over to them, and Lovington hasn't been able to turn those into points on the board. So you've got to take a look at that and take care of the ball yourself. But then you've got to when the shoe's on the other foot, you have got to take that ball that you're given, the gifts and the turnovers, and you've got to convert on those.
Well, you certainly do. So we'll see if they can convert on them as we get ready for the start of the second half, as Clovis leads on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard 25-23. This has been your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How Halftime Report from Lovington Auto Supply at 217 West Avenue D in Lovington. They're going to treat you just like family and give you the Napa know-how for your car. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the start of the second half. This is Wildcat Basketball on Z94 KZOR, the Z94 KZOR app, the Lovington Sports YouTube channel, and the Lovington tab at HobbsAmerica.com. Wildcat basketball for Lovington as we start this second half of play. Jeffrey off of the inbound, takes it to the free throw line and gets the ball popped away from him, and it'll go out of bounds. Last touch by Clovis. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. 25-23, Clovis in the lead as we start the third quarter. As Aguilera to inbound, he'll toss it into Jeffrey. Just to the left side of the arc. Lovington moving from the left to the right from our vantage point. To Aguilera, who cycles it out near side to Henson. Henson to Sandoval, NBA 3, top of the arc. It is off the front of the iron and into the hands of Gutierrez, his fifth. Gutierrez to a breaking Goldsmith, and he tries to slam it home but misses, and it'll be Jeffrey with the rebound. He'll throw the fastball down to Henson, as Henson going to slow up and wait for the troops to come in. Henson to Aguilera, drives it in on the right, laying it up and in by Adam, and we are tied at 25.
Lovington erased a big deficit in that second quarter, and they came out to play in this third.
I believe it was 12 points at one point, as they'll toss it back. Gutierrez for Clovis. Picks up a dribble as Lovington traps him up. Will get it over to Goldsmith on the right side. Goldsmith underneath, and a push shot put up and not going to fall for Hernandez, and into the hands ultimately of Aguilera. So Adam back, gets it near side to Kobe. Sandoval works against Goldsmith, and Kobe will take it himself with the left hand, puts it up. Shot won't fall, but he'll go to the line for two, and a chance to give Lovington their first lead of the afternoon.
An exciting game so far. It has gone from a lopsided game to, a very close game, and now a tied game. So
Sandoval 3 of 4 from the line, put us up the first, and it is good. The foul going to be whistled on Garcia. That's his second personal. First team foul in the half for Clovis.
And the first time that Lovington has led this game.
Yes, it is, 26-25. Sandoval's second shot is up, and he'll get the roll on that one. 27-25, they've come back from a 12-point deficit and now lead it. So a 14-point swing at this point. Garcia uses up the dribble, gets it over to Goldsmith, now into the right corner. Garcia for three, and it's good. That kid has got 3 trays in the ball game. He's got 15 and leads the way for Clovis. 28-27 in favor of the Purple Cats as the Blue Cats bring it back. Aguilera to Henson. He will work against Hernandez. Picks up the dribble, needs some help. Isaac will get it as he tosses it over the head of one of the Wildcats, and we'll have a whistle away from the basketball. And they're saying,
time.
Nope, they're saying there's a problem with the clock as it continues to run. And this is the second time we've seen that. They need to put about 10 more seconds back on that clock. It'll be Lovington basketball. I mentioned this last night. You know, that couple of seconds can make all the difference, but they're not going to reset. So here we go. It's Lovington basketball. Sandoval a head fake. Goes underneath to Ortiz, who banks it off the glass and good. Damian Ortiz, his first points of the ball game. 29-28, Lovington in the lead. Juan Hernandez brings it down into the offensive zone. He'll toss it to the top of the arc to Garcia. Work it around to Gutierrez. 18-footer is up and good. Gutierrez with 7 points. Back and forth we go. 2 minutes gone here in the third, 30-29 in favor of Clovis at this point. So back down come the Wildcats. Henson to Sandoval. Wide open look right wing, and that one will be short. And the rebound going to be made by Gutierrez, who outruns Ortiz to the ball near side. Throw it down to a breaking Hernandez, who puts the reverse layup in. 32-29 Clovis. So now the Purple Cats have fought back and are going on a run. This is a game of momentum for sure, Dawn Morgan.
Definitely back
and a bad
forth.
pass and a steal coming back the other way for Clovis will be Hernandez. Off of the steal, takes it coast and coast, puts it up and in. He's got 9.
And Lovington's got to answer and quickly.
As timeout going to be taken by Coach Casey Pack. 5:19 to go in the third. Clovis 34, Lovington 29 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. We're back in 60 seconds on KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym out of the Lovington timeout. The Cats trail Clovis 34-29. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. So Lovington had chipped back from double-digit deficit to take the lead. But now Clovis has gone on a 6-0 run.
A good time for a timeout. That was wise by Casey Pack to settle the Blue Cats down and to chill the Clovis momentum.
Hilliard to Henson, cross court. Isaac will handle it. He'll toss it back to Tayton in the right corner, and they try and trap him up. Get it out to Jeffrey, top of the arc, takes it into the left lane, puts up the little push shot, and it floats through.
Beautiful.
31-34, Clovis in the lead. Goldsmith thinks about the three from the left wing. He'll take it into the left block and put up a shot, and no good. He'll go to the line for 2. Though as third foul picked up by Damian Ortiz. It'll be the first team foul on Lovington in the half.
You know, that was a wise adjustment by Casey Pack, I think, is to get some of that, use Jeffrey a little bit in the low post a little bit better in terms of shooting.
First shot is going to be short arm by Goldsmith, and no good, so the score stays 34-31, 4:50 to go. Ortiz checks out, Olivas will check in for Lovington.
And I think Clovis was so zeroed in on Sandoval, take him out of the game for a couple of minutes, and then, you know, let Jared slide in there and just try to foul up Clovis's game plan there.
Second shot coming in from Goldsmith. That one won't fall, and a fight for the rebound, and Jeffrey comes away with it as he takes it away from Olivas. Not good to fight the guy in the same color jersey, Jared. I know I don't need to tell you that, but I will anyway. Hilliard pushes it into the free throw line with Olivas. Back to Tayton, to Henson. 3 on the way, and bang! Isaac Henson drains the tray from the left corner, and we're tied again at 34. Back down come the Purple Cats with Hernandez in front of his own bench. Toss it to the free throw line with Goldsmith, who's going to get run over from behind. Nothing intentional there from Hilliard. Just couldn't get the woes put on enough. His first personal, second team foul. It is on the floor, and it'll stay Clovis basketball.
really nice to see the balanced scoring effort again for Lovington.
Into Goldsmith in front of his bench. He'll get it to Garcia. He'll pull up from 18, and Garcia with that long-range J puts it down. He's got 17 points and leads Clovis, who leads 36-34. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Fast-moving ball game. To Henson, to Aguilera. Tosses it over to driving Hilliard, and he'll put up a 15-footer from the left base, and good. Tatum starting to heat up. He's got 9.
Yeah. It's really great to see Lovington come alive like this.
36 all to Garcia. 3-ball on the way. No good, and into the hands of Aguilera. His second rebound. As Animal trigger the Lovington run the other way. Starts a move in, then he'll just back it up and slow things down. All tied at 36 to Tatum. Gets the screen from Olivas, doesn't use it. Now over to Jeffrey in the left wing. He'll pull the trigger on a long 3-ball. Not going to fall, and nobody in the neighborhood for a rebound, at least wearing white, and Gutierrez will bring it down for Clovis. Gutierrez to Goldsmith, who runs it through the left lane, and he will put it up and in. He's got 5 points in the ball game. Back and forth we go with the Wildcats for the third night in a row.
It is a seesaw action.
Yes, it is. Hilliard works against Goldsmith, and they're going to whistle Goldsmith for the push foul. That'll be his second personal, second team foul on Clovis. On the floor stays Lovington ball.
All right, and Sandoval's going to come back in, and it is Henson who sits down. And, of course, nobody runs, that ball and has that beautiful 3-shot like Kobe, that when he gets it hot, it is a great thing to behold.
Brown checks in for Hernandez for Clovis as the inbound will come from Hilliard to Aguilera. Adam goes to the right side, takes it to the right base, tosses out to Olivas, top of the arc. Hilliard for 3, and bang!
Oh.
As Hilliard will drain his second tray of the ball game. He's got 12, and Lovington back up 39-38 to Goldsmith. Starts it in the left lane, uses up the dribble, tosses it back out to Garcia, to Goldsmith in the left corner. Sandoval picks him up quickly. No look pass, long cross court to Garcia, to Phillips, who just checked into the game. He'll pull the 3-point trigger from the right wing. No good, and the rebound by Jeffrey, his 4th.
Good grab.
Jeffrey will leave it off in the backcourt for Aguilera, pushes it forward to Tatum. Hilliard into the front court, works against Garcia, takes it to the left base. He'll toss it over into the right corner, then out to Sandoval for 3, and bang! He even got bumped. He ought to get to go for 4, but will take the 3. 42-38, Lovington up. Goldsmith almost losing the basketball, will corral it. Needs a little help, will get it. They'll throw it to a cutting Lewis, and he'll toss it into the corner for Phillips. He moves it in, goes hippity-hop into the right block, shot up, no good, and the rebound going to be made by Olivas.
Olivas with a nice move underneath the basket against him as well.
Lovington doing a much better job rebounding here in the third quarter. And they lead 42-38, 1:49 to go. Jeffrey, who works against Lewis. He'll toss it into the right corner. Aguilera, look at the 3-ball, and that one will be in the air and right into the hands of Lewis. Lewis bounces it to Brown, who takes it through, and he is going to be blocked from behind by Hilliard. Great hustle job.
And a clean block as well.
Checking into the ball game as Olivas will come out. Going in his place will be Caldillo. Seeing his first action of the evening as Henson will come back to the floor as well for the Cats. As he'll go in for Jeffrey, give Jarrett a minute to take a deep breath.
I'm impressed how the Wildcats have worked guys in and out of the game and still been very smooth on their transitions.
As they work it to Brown to Gutierrez, who will hand it to Lewis. Working the right side of the court, bounce it back over to Gutierrez. His long 2-pointer, no good. And the rebound going to be made by Garcia, who's going to get fouled. He'll head to the line for 2.
And you could just see that was going to happen. You just knew a couple seconds before that whistle, those arms were in there.
So Garcia goes to the line for 2 as the foul will be whistled on Caldillo, his first personal, third team foul on Lovington. This has been an extremely clean game.
And quick moving.
Garcia at the line, puts up the first and finds the bottom of the net. He's 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. He's got 18 points in the ball game. Caldillo check out. Ortiz checks in. Now Garcia at the line, made the first, 42-39. Lovington in the lead. Second is up, and that one will be off the front of the iron. And the rebound off the tip by Aguilera. Aguilera tosses it out to Hilliard as Tatum brings it into the offensive zone for the Cats. working the left side of the floor. He goes against Brown. Gets a screen from Ortiz. Takes it through. Now to Sandoval. 18-footer from the right corner and no good. And the ball will go out of bounds and bounced off of
Ortiz.
It looked like that it was actually going to go out on Clovis, but somehow an athletic save by Garcia, bouncing it off Ortiz.
And Ortiz trying very hard on that, though.
Under a minute to go. Brown in the high post, and he is going to get tied up. And, yep, it'll be a turnover for Clovis. Woo-hoo. Nice job for the Cats to turn him up. That's just their first turnover, though, of the second half. Lovington basketball, 54 seconds to go. They play the trap. And then to Hilliard, who gets creamed by Lewis, his first personal. That'll be the third team foul on Clovis.
That looked like that hurt.
Yes, it did.
You could hear it from up here, and that was before he hit the floor.
WWE shoulder tackle. Best way to put that. If you're watching the video, maybe you agree, maybe you don't. And then a WWE knee lift by Lewis that time.
It was a trip.
I think they've determined that they are going to beat, just going to try and beat on Tatum a little bit. Yeah. And so Lewis is.
And you don't want to see that by any.
No, Lewis is up hobbling. You don't want to see that for sure. You are correct, as Goldsmith will check back in. So Lovington basketball up by 3, 48 seconds to go in the third. Aguilera, no call on the reach-in. Adam bounces it over to Sandoval into the deep left corner for Henson for three, and bang! If you want to play rough ball, you're going to leave somebody open, and the Cats made them pay.
Really nice teamwork that Kobe passed that off.
45-39 to the free throw line. And out to Goldsmith. Bounces it underneath to a wide-open Phillips. Reverse layup, no good, but he's going to be fouled. He'll go to the line for two.
I think they're going to call on Henson.
Yep, they will call that on Henson. That's just Isaac's second personal. Fourth team foul on Lovington.
Isaac trying to get position under the basket against Phillips, who has probably about 50 pounds on him, I think.
Probably so. The one thing about Isaac is it does not bother him to go against anybody, as Phillips' first is up and good.
Isaac is fearless, and he proved that on the football field, certainly, but he plays the same kind of game in basketball as well.
Checking out is Hilliard. Jeffrey back on the floor for Lovington. So Phillips made the first. He puts up the second, and it is good. So he makes them both. 45-41, a 4-point Lovington lead. 20 seconds to go, and Aguilera dribbles it off of his foot and back down for Clovis to Goldsmith with the left hand. A little push shot. It's up. No good. And Jeffrey going to get the rebound and then get clobbered for his troubles. He's got 5 rebounds. It'll be on the floor, but
he really reached in and scooped that basketball and then held on for dear life and paid for it with a tumble on the ground.
Gonna call the foul on Brown, his third personal. Fourth team foul on Clovis.
We said at the beginning of the game.
Fifth team foul, pardon me.
When you play Clovis, you know you're going to get physical.
Yes, you are. 12 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Lovington up 45-41 on the Nowell Pharmacy scoreboard. Jeffrey to Aguilera with 7. Back to Jeffrey with 5. And they call the travel on Jeffrey. Couldn't get it pushed down in time. So Lovington, the last couple trips have turned it over. 7 turnovers in the ballgame, though. So with 4 seconds to go, it'll be Clovis basketball. They'll inbound from in front of the Lovington bench. Goldsmith will get it into the backcourt to Garcia, who puts it up from between the rings at the buzzer. No good. As we go to the fourth, the Nowell Pharmacy scoreboard, Lovington 45, Clovis 41. We're back in a minute on Z94, KZOR, and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Back here for the start of the fourth quarter on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. Lovington 45, Clovis 41. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. And the Cats with another good quarter there, Dawn.
Yes, definitely. You know, you look at the first quarter. Into the first quarter, it was Clovis 12-4, Lovington in a hole. Then the end of the second quarter, at the half, it was 25-23, Clovis with that 2-point lead. At the end of the third, here is Lovington, 45-41, a 4-point lead to get this final quarter started.
And Lovington doing much better rebounding. They out-rebounded Clovis in that quarter 8-4. So fighting a lot harder on the boards. Clovis basketball as we start the fourth. Toss it into Garcia. Top of the arc to Goldsmith for three. And somehow gets the roll. Not the prettiest thing ever, but Goldsmith with 8 in the books. That's his second tray.
They left him open. He made him pay.
45-41. Lovington in the lead. Jeffrey, NBA 3 from the left. Wing it, bang!
Wow.
You want a three? We'll answer.
That's his first tray of the game.
48-44, 7.5 to go in the ballgame. Lovington in the lead. Been an entertaining one to be sure. Toss it into the right corner for Phillips. Toss it back to Brown. Brown makes a little move, takes it to the right elbow. Little spin as he splits two Wildcats, puts it up, no good. Ball is loose on the floor and into the hands of Gutierrez, his 8th. To Goldsmith, little shake and bake. To the left blocks, he'll put up a shot, no good, and into the hands of Henson, Isaac's 4th. Now Henson will hand it off to Aguilera in front of the Clovis bench as Clovis drops back in defense. Adam to the front court, gets a screen from Ortiz. Now hands it off to Sandoval as Goldsmith comes out on him. Kobe takes it into the right corner. Phillips runs him off the baseline. To Henson, thinks about the three. He'll give it to Aguilera to Kobe from the top of the arc for three and bang! Not the prettiest one he'll ever hit, but it still counts. He's got 19.
That was great to rotate that ball back.
51-44, Lovington in the lead, and timeout going to be taken by Clovis right before the 5-second call. So 6.5 to go in the ball game. Now Pharmacy scoreboard, Lovington 51, Clovis 44. We are back in 30 on KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym in Lovington, the Lovington Cats leading Clovis 51-44 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. I'm TJ Miracle alongside Dawn Morgan, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. And Lovington seems to have found their groove just a little bit, Dawn.
They definitely have. And what's really nice is to look down and see again, ballot scoring. You've got such contributions coming, especially on threes from so many players.
Clovis basketball as it'll be Hernandez into the front court for the Purple Cats. He'll toss it to Gutierrez in front of his bench to Goldsmith. Goldsmith uses up the dribble. He'll toss it to Hernandez in the left corner. Takes it left base, runs in, and puts up a little floater. No good in the rebound by Ortiz, his 4th.
Yep, nice grab.
Lovington playing much tougher on the board. Sorry, got to readjust my mask here. We are sticking within COVID rules.
Aguilera with it, driving in.
He'll take it to the right base, picks up the dribble, and that one is going to be popped out of his hands. That'll be the 8th turnover. Clovis on the fast break. Phillips knocked away by Jeffrey, but into the hands of Phillips, who gets hit from behind by Aguilera, who came over the top trying for the block. Phillips showing that his shoulder hurts. They're going to whistle at him for his first personal, 5th team foul on Lovington.
Jared was rolling in agony on the floor, but he came up and looks like he's shaking it off.
He did get just a little bit banged up last night with his ankle.
And then anybody going up at Phillips is going to be almost anybody's going to be on the losing end.
Anybody this side of Andre the Giant, and the first one is up and good. Phillips 3 of 3 from the line, 51-45. As Henson will check in for Aguilera. So you got Henson, Hilliard, Ortiz, Jeffrey, and Sandoval on the court for the Lovington Wildcats. Phillip, Garcia, Goldsmith. Second one up for Phillips is good. Phillips, Garcia, Hernandez, and Gutierrez for Clovis's version of the Cats. 51-46 to Sandoval in the right wing. Ball going to be knocked away by Gutierrez. It'll stay Lovington ball in front of the student section near side. So Kobe to inbound it from the near side sideline. Hits it into Hilliard. He'll get a little screen from Ortiz as Tatum will take it from the left to the right. Puts up a shot, no good, but he is fouled. Tatum goes hard to the floor. Now he'll get up, shake it off, and head to the line for 2.
I think they'll call that on Phillips.
Actually, they're going to whistle it on Gutierrez.
His
really? First personal,
all
6th
right.
team foul on Clovis. So at the line will be Hilliard. Tatum's first trip to the stripe tonight. Tatum's first is up, and it'll roll home. He's got 13 points in the ball game. Second on the Cats in scoring. 52-46 the score. Lovington better than 80% from the line. Shouldn't have said anything as he misses that one, and the rebound will be by Goldsmith, his 9th. Goldsmith takes it coast to coast, and they are going to call the charge on Goldsmith. Nice job getting underneath and setting the feet by Henson. So over to Lovington. That'll be the 13th turnover for Clovis. As Clovis going to drop back in defense. And just let Henson inbound it to Hilliard.
5:34 left to play.
52-46. 6-point lead for the Wildcats, their biggest of the ball game. To Sandoval in front of his own bench. Now between the rings where he works against Hernandez. To Hilliard to the free throw line with Ortiz. Now over to Colby into the right corner with Henson. Isaac pushes back out to Hilliard. Now to the free throw line to the right elbow with Jeffrey. To Sandoval, cycles it around to Henson near side. 5 minutes to go. Lovington earning and eating some clock. Now to Henson, to Ortiz in the right base, tosses it into the post and going to the rack and putting it in is Jeffrey.
Being very patient. Lovington very patient on that with good passing.
54-46, an 8-point lead for the Wildcats of Lovington. To Goldsmith near side, 3 ball on the way from the left wing. Up and no good, but the rebound made by Gutierrez, his 9th, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Going to call that on Ortiz. He tried to free his hands.
Actually, they're going to call it on Henson. So that'll be Isaac's 3rd personal. 6th team foul on Lovington.
Saw Ortiz reach from behind, and he did throw up his hands, saying, nope, not me.
So Gutierrez at the line, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and he will miss the first. He is only now 1 of 4 from the line. I think Ortiz going to check out. Yep, and Oliva's going to check in for Lovington. 4:38 remaining in the ball game. Ortiz and Jeffrey on the front line. Henson and Hilliard on the back blocks, and up and in by Gutierrez. He's got 10 for Clovis. Full court press this time on for the Purple Cats. Jeffrey and Hilliard going to play catch and try and break it. Still hadn't moved it forward. Jeffrey will cross the timeline, picks up the dribble, tosses near court to Hilliard. Clovis now going to let Lovington get just a little bit of room to breathe. A screen set by Olivas into the corner for Jeffrey. Takes it to the left block, puts it up from there. 12-footer is good. Jeffrey now with 9 points in the ball game.
Yeah, and those have come in the second half mostly.
Actually, I'm sorry, that's 10 points in the ball game.
Wow.
Phillips in the right corner as they toss it out to Garcia. 56-47, 9-point lead for Lovington. Under halfway to go here in the 4th quarter. They toss it to Goldsmith. He'll go in and into the low post. Phillips back door, nobody on him as he'll lay it up and in. He's got 6.
Now Clovis with some patient passing and court work as well.
Clovis saying Lovington is walking. No, they're really not, guys, but that's okay. I'd probably say the same thing if it was us on the other end of it. 56-49, 3.5 to go. Lovington in the lead. Sandoval is tripped up, no call, but it'll be Henson who saves it. Kobe is injured and an official timeout on the court as he's going to be up and he is going to have to hobble off. And so a timeout going to be taken by Lovington with the injury on the court, and Sandoval up and not feeling good. 3:27 remaining in the ball game. 56-49 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. Lovington leading, but Sandoval down. We're back in 30 on KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym, the Lovington Wildcats leading the Clovis Wildcats 56-49 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing.
As Sandoval getting tripped up literally on that last possession by Lovington as he was driving the baseline, and he's gone off with a little limp. He's gone to the training room. Probably, we think, maybe going to be wrapping up an ankle. We hope that he comes back into this game. We will see.
So out of the Lovington timeout, it'll be Henson, Hilliard, Aguilera, Olivas, and Jeffrey on the floor for Lovington, who do have the lead 56-49. It will be Lovington basketball out of the Lovington timeout. Of course, great to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon for basketball. A little cool out there. Feels a little more like normal basketball weather than we've been having. Thank you, COVID world. And so inbound to Aguilera. He'll take it, goes hard to the rack on the right side and up and in for Adam.
Very light defensive pressure. Nobody really watching him on that one.
58-49, Lovington in the lead. Down comes Clovis. Long cross-court pass to Phillips. They're leaving him open over there all day long. I think they're content to say if the big boy wants to shoot it, let him. Three on the way this time. Hernandez, no good. And it'll be Aguilera, his fourth rebound. Adam will take it himself, waits for some running mates, and it'll be Henson. Back to Aguilera, to Henson. Hilliard to Aguilera to Henson. Back to Hilliard. There we go. I'm going to get all my players straight in a minute. Tayton will control it. And on him, incredibly tight, is Garcia. 58-49, Lovington in the lead. Henson near side, tosses out to Aguilera, who cycles it between the rings.
Lovington needs to just hang on to the ball and eat some clock here. Make Clovis come to them.
Yep. I'm fine with that when you're up by 3 possessions. So it'll go to Aguilera. They'll work it around to Jeffrey. Goldsmith on him. They'll toss it over. They're just basically playing keep away right now and eating some clock. I think if you get a good look at the basket, though, you need to take it.
That's right.
Because you're not up that far. To Jeffrey. Picks up the dribble. Needs some help. Long cross-court pass to Hilliard. Hilliard to Henson. To Jeffrey, working in front of the Lovington bench. Again, they're just eating clock, and we're under 2 minutes to go.
Now they're going to foul. Gutierrez comes in, I think. And
second personal, 7th team foul, so that'll put Lovington in the bonus.
Yep, he fouls Jeffrey.
They let him burn about a minute and a half off the clock right there.
Yeah, just 2:06 left to play in this one, and Lovington is up 58-49 with Jeffrey at the line.
And a chance to go up by double digits for the first time tonight. Jeffrey
actually made he made his first point of the game at the line in that first quarter.
Yep, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. So he can give Lovington a double-digit lead here as he shoots the front into the 1-and-1. It is the bonus, so you make the first, you get the second. Jeffrey, front into the 1-and-1. Nothing but the bottom of the net. He's got 11.
Lovington making it look easy, but they are only up by 10. They have to watch this.
59-49, so now up to a conventional 4-possession lead. Second shot up and misses that one, and the rebound going to be made by Goldsmith. That'll be his 10th. As Goldsmith will keep it himself, brings it into the front court to Phillips from the left wing again. I think they're thinking, if you want to shoot the 3, big boy, we will let you. To Hernandez to Goldsmith, NBA 3 from the left side, and bang, puts it home. So Goldsmith, his 3rd tray of the ball game. He's got 11. Lovington to the front court, 59-52, a 7-point lead, 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Bounce it over to Jeffrey. Jeffrey weaves through traffic into Aguilera, and again, they're just going to play keep away. 59-52, Jeffrey thinks about the 3, and he'll draw the foul by Gutierrez, his 3rd personal, 18 foul on Clovis, and Jared will head back to the line for the 1-and-1.
That was an elegant out by Jared, who saw him coming and thought, I'm going to pirouette and let him touch me instead of tackling me, taking me down.
Sandoval coming back out from the training room. Looks a little ginger on that one of those ankles.
And, yep, they did. It looks like they taped the right ankle.
Front into the 1-and-1 is no good, and the rebound is going to be made by Goldsmith. That is his 11th. Goldsmith keeps it himself, and a whistle sounds, and wipe it off as timeout going to be taken by Coach Jaden Isler. 1:20 remaining in the ball game. It's Lovington 59, Clovis 52 on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard. We're back in 60 here on Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Back here at Wildcat Gym with Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Clovis basketball as Coach Isler takes the timeout. Lovington leading on the Now Pharmacy scoreboard, 59-52, 1:20 remaining in the ball game. As Lovington is up and chipped it at one point down by double digits, at another point up by double digits. It has been a back and forth entertaining affair, to be sure. Hernandez will inbound it from in front of his own bench to Goldsmith. Goldsmith between the rings, back to Hernandez, now to Goldsmith near side. Over to Gutierrez from the left corner, three. That one is going to be well short, and the rebound is going to be made by Henson, his fifth, and he is fouled instantly by Phillips, his third personal, ninth team foul. And this is what Coach Isler has to do. He cannot let Lovington run any more time, so he's going to make it a free throw shooting contest when the team in white has the ball.
He is. I mean, Clovis, when they have the ball, they're going to be in a hurry to try to put some points on the board quickly, or they're going to be just trying to foul Lovington and let the chips fall where they may and try to grab those rebounds.
Isaac's first trip to the stripe, and he will get the first. He's got 7 points in the ball game. Go along with 5 rebounds.
And every little point right here helps try to put it away for Lovington.
60-52. Second one is up, and Isaac pushes that one through. He's got 8 points in the ballgame. Back up to a 9-point Lovington lead, a full 3 possessions as we hit the 1 minute mark remaining in the ballgame. Hernandez near side to Goldsmith, almost fouled by Jeffrey. A high pass and somehow controlled by Hernandez. He'll toss it back to Goldsmith, top of the arc, 3 on the way. That one will be off the arc, and the rebound by Hernandez, his 6th.
Nice hand on the basketball by Aguilera.
Almost lost it. He'll make it back out into 3-point territory. Rebound, that is Garcia who comes down with it, puts up a shot, no good, and he'll be fouled by Olivas, who I think got the worst of that one as he's up a little hobbled. I think he got hit in some place that you never want to get hit. And the foul going to be called on Henson, so that'll be the 4th personal on Isaac, 17th foul on Lovington. So now they're out of fouls to give, and at the line is Garcia with 18.
61-52, Lovington leads with 42 seconds left to play.
First shot is up for Garcia and good. He's got 19 points in the ballgame. Olivas will check out, and Ortiz will check back in.
That puts Ortiz and Jeffrey in the blocks, set to try to grab the rebound.
Second shot on the way, and that one is no good. And the rebound by Jeffrey. He's got 6, leads the way for the Cats. He will work against Clovis, gets it into the front court, gets through Gutierrez, tosses over as it'll wind up being Hilliard, and that one is going to be stolen away, kind of a sloppy pass, and taking it coast to coast and laying it up and in is Garcia. He's got 21. And timeout going to be taken by Coach Isler with 25 seconds to go. 61-55. Let's just keep it right here. It is just a 30-second timeout, so let me make note of that.
And it is,
on
of
my
course,
score sheet.
it's all strategy by Isler at this point. He's looking at the clock, thinking, all right, it's 6 points. That's two possessions if you're going to try to sink 2 3-pointers. So he's going to look at how do you get that ball from Lovington, steal it, try to get 3, try to force a turnover, quick one, tie it up, and, I'll do all of that in 25 seconds.
Yeah, a lot to think about. And, hey, a lot to think about when it comes to our sponsors. Great folks who make it possible for Z94 and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel to bring all this coverage to you, including our good friends at Lovington Auto Supply and the Now Pharmacy, Devon Energy, and Empire Services. Lovington Schools and First American Bank, General Welding, and the Lee County Electric Cooperative. And, of course, we can't forget our good friends at Bob Schriftway and the Jameson family. We appreciate all those folks making it possible to bring you Wildcat Sports here on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. So the plan here is if you can't steal it away on the inbound, foul just as quick as you can, and that is exactly what they will do. And Aguilera will head to the line on Garcia's 3rd personal.
And that took only 1 second off the clock, a little over a second.
Of course, if you're Lovington now, maybe you give them the inside track and you let them shoot it from outside. Or maybe you let them go inside and maybe shut off the outside. I don't know what you're thinking here. There's a reason I'm up here and not down there. As Adams' first shot is up and no good. They are in the double bonus. If you're going to make it a free throw shooting contest, you better win the free throw shooting contest. Lovington at 80%, but have slacked off here in the 4th quarter. Second shot is up, and that one is good. 7 points in the books for Aguilera. 62-55, 23 seconds to go as Hilliard knocks it away. And they are saying that it might have gone off of the hands of Goldsmith.
No, I don't think the ref saw it that way.
I don't think he did either. I don't think I saw it that way. So just saying, I try to be honest. Into the front court comes Hernandez. He will toss it to Goldsmith with 13 seconds to go. Tosses underneath to Hernandez, and he will bank it up and in. I'd let him do that all day long. And a foul on the inbound, and so heading down to shoot two will be Aguilera. With 6 seconds to go, he gets one of these. It's pretty much iced. Two, you can put the nail in the coffin. Foul going to be called on Phillips, his fourth. So Aguilera at the line for two. And Lovington up by 5.
Definitely an exciting game. It's been a fun one to watch, the progression of Lovington through this game.
First shot is up for Adam, and that doesn't ice it, but it helps. If he gets this one, you can pound another nail in the coffin with just over 6 seconds remaining in the ball game. You don't want to cart before the horse, as they say. Second one is up, and Adam gets them both. That helps. So a 7-point lead with 5, with 4, with 3, with 2, as Goldsmith from the free throw line underneath, and at the last second, the shot blocked by Henson and into the hands of Ortiz, and the Lovington Wildcats have knocked off Clovis tonight by a final score. Lovington 64, Clovis 57. We're back in 2.5 minutes for the Wildcat postgame show on Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington. Back here at Wildcat Gym, this is the Lovington Wildcat postgame show on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. The Lovington Wildcats improved to 2-4 on the season, knocking off the 5A Clovis Wildcats and a top 10 team in 5A in Clovis, who were 5-2, 64-57. The final in this one with Dawn Morgan. I'm TJ Miracle. Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing. A quick recap of the numbers for Clovis. Their leading scorer tonight was Elijah Garcia. He had 21 points in their effort, 11 points for Bryson Goldsmith, who was also their leading rebounder with 11, 10 points for CJ Gutierrez. Clovis as a team went 10 of 17 from the free throw line, 38 rebounds as a team, turned the ball over 13 times. Got 12 in the first, 13 in the second, 16 in the third, 16 in the fourth. That's how they get to their 57 on the board. Will be a little more complete for the Lovington Wildcats. 3 scores in double digits tonight, led by Kobe Sandoval with 19 points, 4 of them from 4 of his buckets, so 12 points from beyond the arc. Of course, he went out a little banged up, but we saw him come back to the bench late in the game. We certainly hope that he is okay. 13 points for Tayton Hilliard tonight, 11 for Jared Jeffrey, 9 for Adam Aguilera, none bigger than those free throws down the stretch. 8 points for Isaac Henson. Then you had a bucket for Joey Villalobos and a bucket for Damian Ortiz. Leading rebounder was Jeffrey. He had 6. Isaac Henson with 5. Damian Ortiz with 5 as well. Lovington 25 total rebounds in the ball game. Went 15 of 21 from the free throw line. Turned the ball over 9 times. Scored 4 points in the first, but then the offense showed up. 19 in the second, 22 in the third, and 19 in the fourth. That's how they get to their 64. They didn't want another repeat of let's get up and then lose it late like they saw on Tuesday and Friday. So big game for the Wildcats, knocking off the Purple Cats from Clovis.
Yeah, sure. What could have been a sweep this week, they, came back in this game. They had a terrible first quarter. Their shooting was cold. They got out rebounded. It was not a good start to this game. But they came back in that second quarter. They turned things around. They caught fire, and they were within 2 points at the end of that second quarter. Then you look, they had a heck of a second half of this game. So they made the right adjustments, did some important things on the floor. I love the fact that there are 5 different Lovington players with significant points and 7 total contributing to the score. That it's really good to see. Plus, they have a lot of their rebounding is fairly balanced as well. So we have good teamwork. It's I like that on their warm-up jerseys. They have teamwork on the back of that. Well, they proved that tonight. It's always great to see Kobe Sandoval in there, but with him going out late in the fourth quarter, Lovington still was able to make the adjustments and play well with several different configurations on the court. So that's the sign of some good talented player, a deep team, and a well-coached team.
Well, it certainly is. And so improving to 2-4 on the year. Now it'll be back into the district grind at least next week for 2 days, and then another pre-district game that happens in the middle of district. I love COVID world. But we'll come back in 1 minute to talk about the Tuesday games and wrap it up. This is the Wildcat Postgame Show on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Here at Wildcat Gym, your Wildcat postgame show continues on Z94 KZOR. Lovington knocking off Clovis 64-57. Alongside Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Tiff Stuber in studio as we get to celebrate for a couple of days and then back into the grind as district resumes on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, and this has been a pleasure to do the game together because we're not going to have a chance to do any of the games together next week. And so I'll be thinking about, this next Lovington Wildcat boys game because it's really great to see them get this win tonight. It's a pleasure to be in the gym watching them come back. And we certainly hope Sandoval again. He's such a great, talented basketball player, such a good technician and unselfish player. He would have had more than the 19 points that he had in this game had he not gone out toward the end of that. So let's hope that he is back when you are back calling the next boys game as well as next week.
Well, the next boys game will be on Tuesday. The next girls game that we'll be covering, and their next game period, they're not playing today, is on Tuesday as well. You'll be in Portales at the Ram Athletic Center for that Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and we'll be able to see that game on the Lovington Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com. Scroll down to Lovington Sports 2, and you'll also have it on the new Nowalmark Digital YouTube channel. We'll put links on our Facebook pages for that. So you'll be on the Nowalmark Digital Solutions YouTube channel and also on HobbsAmerica.com. And right here on Z94 KZOR and the Lovington Sports YouTube channel on Tuesday night from right here at the friendly confines, we will have the Portales Rams and your Lovington Wildcats matching up again. So final thoughts, Dawn, as we wrap. They're turning off the lights.
Yeah,
so I guess they're trying to tell us wrap up.
My final thought is a good night. Good game, Lovington Wildcats. Good luck next week. I'll see you with the Lovington Lady Wildcats. Looking forward to that, and good night.
And with that, we will put a wrap on it. The Wildcats knock off Clovis in an exciting come-from-behind victory, 64-57. For Tiff Stuber in studio engineering and producing, for Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Wildcat Gym. This has been an exclusive presentation of Nowalmark Digital Solutions, One Radio Square, and Z94 KZOR Sports. Have a great weekend, everybody.